Welcome to the Casa Nomadica garden tour. Right now, just practicing with the camera a little bit. But this was the main feature in our garden, these red bananas. There's a large banana circle that was here when we purchased the property. And it's already fruited 3 or 4 times in a year and a half. Gets water from our outdoor shower. So, they're finally starting to get big. Just warming up with the camera a little bit here. It's been a while since I used the gimbal and did any of this. So I'm going to narrate a little bit of what's going on, and then I hope to do some more in-depth videos as we go. So over here we have some fruit trees. There's an avocado that came out of the compost. Some squash, other little things going on, marigolds. I'm using chaya spinach trees in this area to ensure that I get some shade, because this is the sunniest time of year for us here in the coast of Ecuador, Ayampe. Some sort of fruit that I haven't discovered what it is yet. Just cucamelon maybe? These white flowers in the chaya make them a great pollinator. And again, lots of biomass, lots of shade coming off the chayas. You can see all the flowers. And bananas are also being used as a pioneer species to create shade and biomass. Marigolds make a very quick turnaround. Same thing for covering up the soil and for limiting some pests. Got 2 little tiny coffee plants over here. Again, being shaded out. Hopefully one day they can get a little bigger and we'll cut the rest of this down. There's one of those butterflies that we've been watching all morning. My daughter loves to point them out, chase them around. So up high we've got some thin palms. Oh yeah, noon sun, 1 o'clock sun. Probably shouldn't point my camera directly at the sun. I'm not going to do that anymore. But anyway, so you see, a clear day in the sunny season of Ecuador. Over here we've got a mango tree, a Palo Santo tree. That's the leaf that I'm shaking right there. Up above it you can see a moringa. That's a moringa from seed that maybe a year and a half old. Never cut that one. We just got a lot of support from the other plants on the fence, so it's still getting bigger. Doing mulching around here. Got some sand in places to try to cover up the mud. A lot of the soil here is very much clay mud mixture. Excuse me. Coconut husks. Some other things that don't break down so fast in the compost. Sometimes I leave them around on top of the soil to help with moisture. It's a mess like usual. There's some sweet potato leaves you see on the bottom left. The bananas have been spread out everywhere from that original banana circle that was there. They're all the red bananas. Might move them around later, but there's a Genovese basil up here in the full sun. Some wild vines, native vines I would say, growing around everything. There's another moringa. It's a year and a half to 2 years old. This one's been trimmed a little bit. It's in a nice wet place. A castor bean plant, something that's native to this area, I believe. Plumeria flowers is a branch that fell off my neighbor's tree. Just letting it rest down there till it wants to make roots. There's a lot of weeds and things growing around here, but it's so hot that I'll take any ground cover I can. Here's an avocado tree that's been in the ground for at least a year. Doing pretty good. Came out of the compost, so not exactly sure what it is. It's not grafted or anything, but I'm fine with waiting. We'll see what happens. Lots of sweet potato ground cover over here. A fig tree that recently had a lot of growth. Some more moringas. Small citrus tree. Not sure exactly what it is, but for now it's going to grow. Vetiver and hibiscus growing all around. It's going to be the middle layer and the ground grasses layer eventually. Some got some rebar type of trellising out here with a tomato growing on it. Over here is the fig tree hiding there that I was talking about. And this other one that's, I guess, called a moonflower. Or, there's a couple names for it, I'm not exactly sure. But it blooms every month or so. These really fragrant, strong flowers. Lots of similar species. Right now I'm trying to diversify. There's lots of wild species growing out of compost and the organic material that I use to build these beds. This is a carambola tree, starfruit, grown from a seed. Might take a couple more years, but eventually fruit. Some basils down there. Some seedlings being protected by a tiny castor plant. Up here is a whole mound of yucca plants. These are probably 5 months old. The yucca is a 6 to 9 month cycle depending on the species. And we'll start harvesting some soon and then replanting the sticks for another cycle. This small leafed tree in the middle is a porotigo, nitrogen fixer. The leafcutter ants really like moringa, so they do a good number on the moringa, but luckily the moringa grows fast and strong. Down here we've got a mixture of invasives, weeds, other things like that are usually good pollinators, but get eliminated at some point. And over here, these are my kind of traditional garden beds, you could say. They get really strong afternoon sun, so at the moment I've got a lot of larger canopy papayas and things trying to shade them out. These are more useful in the shady rainy season. So back here is more of trying to go for natives and pollinators, things that are less, require less work, require less tending. Things that take a little longer, some ginger, there's lots of flowers, there's turmeric, pineapples, moringa, bananas, lots of plumeria sticks in there that might stay there, might move around. There's a rose plant, all those little leaf plants are some sort of nitrogen fixers that I like to let grow and chop and drop. So over here's my composting area. I've got 2 bins. I kind of do the lasagna method and mix a lot of things together. Our food scraps, leaves, all the green clippings, as much dead leaves as I can collect, and sticks. This is a barra, a very common tool in Ecuador, an iron bar with a blade on one end and a point on the other. It makes really good for aerating the compost. So I'll turn these maybe once every month or two, and probably on a 4 to 6 month harvest cycle for the compost. I usually stick a lot of holes in it. So back here behind the house, there's a hedge between us and the neighbor. Lots of hibiscus and other little things growing. So it's kind of a propagating area. Probably needs to move. It's not getting the right amount of sunlight. There's this original red banana circle that was here when we moved in and has provided us a few fruits. It really makes a lot of biomass too. This side of the house gets lots of sun, so growing a few shade trees, palms, things like that. And out here in the middle, same thing, full sun all the time, so it's got a lot going on right now. I'm really putting in the layers that are going to take a while, and so things like these bananas will be there for a while before the trees grow, and we'll cycle them out eventually. So this is an image of the gate in the front wall of our property on the very first day that we went to see it. It was completely overgrown, had at one point been cut and leveled and sold as a flat buildable lot, and obviously had been left in disrepair, unbuilt for a long time, but it was a perfect plot of land for us to start with. Again, these are just kind of archival before photos. This is just inside that front gate looking towards the back wall of the property. And another one, this is the back wall of the property. This is currently where our home sits. It's right where these trees were. These are mayuyo trees. They're a native kind of pioneer species. Grows very fast. And here you can see the one large tree that we did keep on the property. Again, completely overgrown. There had been piles of compost put here, sticks, everything was cut and just piled and piled for years and years, which was a lot of awesome organic material to start with. It was just a lot of work to get it in the right place and sort it all and cut it all again. So again, these are just an archival photo, and the next video is going to include some more photos and videos of how we got to the point that you see now in the video.